All right. Going next October 2020, we're at 7 o'clock. Is the warrant. We are holding a meeting today. And so this will be able to participate remote. The meeting is being recorded. It will be made available for the public at a date. So we take with the roll call. Yes. Director.
Bob present.
Stephen present.
So do. Okay,
Peter present.
And Jill.
Jill Rafter participating remotely.
Right. All right, so our agenda is we've got minutes that through and go through some and assignments, talk about that. Most of the meeting about the whole point of cash, the past, and then seminary guide that we have. And then there's some time about a recent grant, safer approach in new states. So with everybody get the minutes from the meeting. Question.
Just I think I just to say a great summarize it really used for understanding the high points.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, if there's no comments, take the motion to
Motion approved the minute of December 9 submitted.
okay, let's see.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Jill.
Yes.
Okay, great. I think that's the only vote. Other than adjourned. Do that.
Second.
All right. So the calendar.
I'm gonna pause 1 second,
Yeah.
take some sound action.
Jill, can you?
I can hear you. It gets choppy now and again, but I'm trying to make it out.
Let's see. Put this in. I'm gonna hold on.
Just put it underneath.
How, Jill? Sounds.
It just cuts in and out
Jill?
like every other note.
Interesting. I want one of these meetings where we keep minutes because it's there.
That'd be the internet.
We want to ask this kind of interaction. You're connected to internet. If you're connected to internet, try to connect. See, it helps. All right, Jenny, better. It's the same.
It sounds about the same. Yeah, it is choppy. I don't know.
Same, huh? Interesting. Well, in the budget for a new.
Sitting for a year. Steve right now, not accepting.
Right. Okay. Well, there's nothing we can guess. We'll just have to go through meeting. Us to, we're having a hard hearing. So this is the schedule of meetings. Like the meetings have changed for the, but in January, February, March added the additional meetings, 2 in January, 2 in February, and the February 11th is the school budget. And I have sent to the department, so they're familiar with our process calendar. And then towards the end of February and March, we will deal with those that before town will be through budget and can move on other articles. Any questions on if another meeting after the hearing, the warrant April 1st? We'll see how things go, but we won't need.
Steve, February 11th, that's the date that the schools have public, hearing, is it? Because it's usually like the end of February.
Yeah,
They have public, no, they have this.
Yes.
Date to the initial event. And they come back January for the meeting. Is that in February? What's the, that is?
so the end of so have at the end of February
Will be 2 I have 2 weeks today.
yeah.
Okay,
I mean, and this to my
Right.
he didn't
right,
object to it, but
yeah.
we should confirm it with.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah, we confirm.
Yeah.
He does more engaged calendar year than last, so. I think because he reached out to ask what dates, and I know they put it on. I think the full committee, they're gonna talk budget calendar. So we may get a little more excited this year.
Yeah.
You know, from their perspective, at least a couple weeks, but we'll see. And so these are assigned for budgets in the park. Everybody have a chance to look at this? Any questions, comments? I made some changes to new members and members, you know, leaving. I tried to, balance a little bit. Made some requests, actually wanted to police. We do to the police. And asked Mr. Villa to help with the healthcare this year. So a lot of things are this. So Ashley, don't get overwhelmed all these items. They're really long.
I had to work for.
You have to work with.
Due to the rookies.
Don't worry, a lot of them, but I think they're really fun, and Christine is organized.
It's okay.
So,
The meeting is live.
in 5, that's correct. That is, let's see. I guess that goes to, the bulk of discussion today. Yeah,
The question, when can we start that thing for the department to talk about the budget?
Not
Now,
wage run. I've had a chance to sit in that.
Yeah,
You know, we managed with that at the beginning, you know.
yes, yeah, and that was like, maybe in November or something. I mean, you could just reach out and make a contact and then, you know,
They present their budget, just have a discussion with them, not with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, then,
You can have it.
yeah, you have to let the process unfold. Yeah. So, I think on, the other, why don't we, my suggestion is we do this order, we do a 5-year cast for. Okay. Then we look at cash. And then we look at the 6, you know, first patch. Is that okay? I think there's some that, you know, well, if we can sequence, what a little easy. So with that, there is this year, has have copy this final cast. You might have to. Why don't you? I have one, it's so just 5. This is all on the pack on the web, so. But, so, well, Frank, I'll give you a brief review. He can take us through it. He's done, he's up to 5-year. And he had incorporated the state hospital into these projections. And assume our new folk that were up under our new funding policies. Okay. The that are shaded green. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a few lines that are shaded green. Those are ones that are impacted by this hospital. Okay. So you'll see, for example, in on the new side. In the side here is that this hospital closes at the end of fiscal 2020. So basically, we've assumed for the permanent building permit falls into 27. Then 2-year, construction, there is some revenue that gets generated tax perspective, and it ramps up over 2-year 2020. That's cost us. So it's what he's taken the Fogarty's the that was done at the time, the town of the state off the fiscal study, and he's in impact number 5-year forced. So yes.
Fiscal 20 and 2026, so it's up to 30, 27.
Yeah, fiscal 27 is when there's changing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the new growth item, there's all, and for Franklin is better than I, but there's a small new growth 37, but the bulk new growth $600,000 in 2029 from the new apartment, the finished product they're coming on the revenue. Tappy. Then on motor vehicle excess, I assume increase it once the construction complete. There's some, I don't know, a couple vehicles up. and that will get access for. And assume the graph increase in those tax, because people will be working construction, they'll, what's going on, they'll use our routes, and then there's people who will benefit from that. The item in here that was point is. I guess this, so the next page is the other rental funds. And so included in budget is, I just look, this, it's on the side, sorry. So on the, we have, in the old expense, remember, policy 3,550. So expense, is put there at 581, that's on the last page. And and then what we've done is we go offset with free cash. You'll in the second page. Yeah.
Thank you.
So so now that's a hard copy. Talked about the notes, that's the green shit for third line. We talked the excise tank and the meals. And on the second page, we're you recast the OPEB, so it's revenue here. And this is that expenses on the last OPEB operation, so that's kind of that's net, okay. And then what he says on the see on page 2, that this gets that the pension use the result through 2029. By the way, if you noticed on second page, you have columns for 2029.
Oh, sorry.
That will be 23rd. But so I have a pension against each. That is on the last page. It Norfolk County return. And you'll see that it starts 26.6 million goes up. And in 20 it dropped to 500. So it's like kind of in the mid last page. Yeah. So that is the assessment stress. The function is funded. We'll talk more about question, but purposes of this cast, that's done it. And then if we have an off to that assessment, we use the reserve to stabilize that the net, right? On the second page is the pension fund, and that's gradually up. 2020, and we have every year we have a spreadsheet that we come up with that, and these are from the latest. So those. Now I'll let you the key points on the cast that I want to talk about.
Sure, so about the state house rate.
Yes, I explained the shaded revenue areas.
Sure.
I haven't talked about fence screen ones. Maybe you want about those.
Sure, so a number ago, the town voters to the state hospital, there was an announcement by a third party that was
they basically with different revenue that I could expect to come into the project forward, but also expenses that I've heard. Things like use call or more files, more participating in town events.
Excuse me, ask you to talk
Oh,
closer.
sure.
Maybe we can move that, great.
Keep going, I'm just gonna play with this. I'm getting some, all right, for a minute, so.
So basically, this is not gonna start with different cost increases over development of the hospital. So what I said was just those individual units that I identified and the costs were outlined in the work. I think when we did here, we just sort of a ramp to those so you know, we wouldn't expect the buildings to be full, right? We know they will, but we expect that you know, cost would be just up totally weird. So that ramp up is see a primary expense side fiscal 3 as we would expect now anyway, very preliminary for it to be there on. The revenue side, earlier. Here's the first right now, we in 27 on tax, basically, right now, owns the property tax, first step would be owned by a property, and then as it goes on, it goes on. So I think over 2 years expected about to $600,000 as a result of the construction and those there's fiscal year. Any questions about state hospital? I'm happy to follow up. Usually we have a whole spreadsheet for the sort of analysis. But again, the things aren't expected until again on the preliminary time that we have.
You said it's right town. It's something I'm trying and they're pretty taxes. That's a fiscal.
So taxes right now in about 57 is still a project. Or a transaction was in the spring of fiscal year. Or I'm sorry, a calendar year.
Yeah, so like this first page, if you look at the new revenue, you'll be the first green amount 46, and then the next two years there's 6,000 a year additional. There's just
So new growth will.
it goes in base, yeah. Just do anymore.
That like 600.
Yeah.
So it's 30, we expect the 100,000. The positive now 6,000.
Yeah. The 1.5 or 1.2 million added to tax base that increases to every year. So I have to look at it.
Is we
I mean, you would expect a net from just little and pickup injections of I think it's about whatever the study. But there's also, there's obviously, things that are create deficit. See, so even the net revenue hospital, the things
net line after 600.
Just the hospital. This is the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still a deficit townwide, is what I'm saying.
All right.
We're up to those. Look, if you look on the last page, you'll see at the very is the and revenues, fund expense,
Right.
you'll see for F 26, it's best, right? We're, yes,
Right.
that's the, we're on now. And then, you know, there's a sum built in here on cost escalation, you know, or like driver is 4% every for the schools in town, people for people cost, right? So that's the big drop. It's 3.78%. And you know, other things in here that are, so it's intentionally a little conservative, but particularly on those others, you know. You can see it generates a set of the debt gets as high as 0.4 or 29, and then one fully funded pension is down 0.2. Now this is going up. And you know, there's some conservative built into admittedly, but you know, I think it's actually probably good, good at where we're at, you know. Does it make sense?
Well, I was trying to keep up earlier that. So that's page when. That's starting by 20.
Right.
Are gonna have to override this year.
That's, I mean, that's that's unknown, right? We have to. The particular earlier year, you know, 36 will start at 27 and make a decision as to, by then we'll have a contract that would effectively bar.
Right.
And we'll whether the assistance on the canal side.
So at this point, all being equal, roads are not at the pay expense.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really designed. This isn't a estimate forecast, you know, injection. This gives us a sense of where we are. And I think getting into this year, you know, it does call into in that commit to expense the extent of the limit of revenue that we need to be very prudent in any increase. You know, because we do know we've had and can have a revenue that pays.
Right, yeah. So, and we have these fire teachers, it's 18 months, collective bargains are all getting, you know, deleted. So that's really gonna, the institution will know more once that occurs. But the committee and the department in charge of the bargaining, and Christine, the select board is involved outside the police. Well, but it kind of just gives you a idea that we have years coming, and you know, that you know, it's going to really be driven what happens with the bargaining units. You know, whether we need to have a fight or not, or whether they solve, you know, within proper path. So that,
Sorry,
Yeah.
I should mention, sleep out year, on the side, I've not been for what Dr.
okay,
So the words in it, so these numbers, basically earlier version, but. Cash here, so we can discuss.
Yeah.
Whatever numbers.
okay, that would be, that would, such a big drop, of the, that would be helpful to her. And so based last time, they looked at this, you're just at one from go. All right. Is there else that we should about on, I mean, he's added in recent marginal expense like in that year 30. For, you know, once operational, gonna be some expenses for, I did police.
Everybody bought a car and ate down some meat.
Greatly.
We've got police fire. Great. Kind of like this session. Did you more to form time, more costs, we're gonna have to hire additional people? Or how cost that?
What's specific?
We're taking it from the study off and we did.
Yeah, I think. Assumed that this hires.
Then we'll on the website, we'll copy of that. You can review.
It's been a year since, yeah, oh, I don't think you were on committee. There was a, you know, extensive stuff. Where they clarified all those facts from a fiscal perspective on the time of the gospel. So that is,
The new grant kind of support positions.
it's a 3 grant, so, but we get to what? The finished product there. There, it doesn't help, yeah. And so, good question. So that's, any questions on, Ed, you, on you?
Oh, yeah, it's, you know, it's still like, well, 3 years.
Yes,
Just
yes, yeah,
you know, the ball,
right.
yeah, but
You can-
you're correct,
And originally it's,
yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, amounts, it's different, well, but the caps don't change.
yeah,
And it's inclusive. We have, but.
Yeah.
Nice to
and.
check anything new.
And the conservative assumptions, you know, are always gonna have a percent increase a year and workers' comp. And that one, you know, there's some, you know, I think. You know, and the bigger like health and stuff like that, those would be, you know. I mean, they're, you know, when you're doing something like this, you better be a little more consistent. Otherwise, right? So it's that, right? No,
That's a lot of work.
a lot of work, yes. And credit goes.
Ain't seen, no, we just.
All right, see, should I make your present, Frank?
Yes. Can you start?
Let me see. Find that. Okay. Sorry, it's a little under, but
Yeah, sorry.
well, here we are, so. All right, it's PowerPoint, it says 2020 budget out. That's town to the fiscal 6 budget up.
So just putting this for, say I use a really small thing. It's just helpful for fiscal year, which one we're preparing for. One is, I guess, but all packing the budget process. So now we're in fiscal year 25, fiscal year 20 closed June of 24, but sort of you could call them numbers fiscal quarter going to hit power before the year 2020, which we are preparing for now, in July 5.
I'm trying to make it for you, so.
I have it on my so I can.
I'll scroll, big, that's big it was, so. Just the left before you go, so Frank, the different things, right? So what we're talking about now, the 24. June 34 year they're finished. And at where we budgeted that, right? We put revenue, budgeted expense. The difference is out in free cash. So I'll take it.
So our cash total to in a few slides, but just looking back those of the fiscal and sort of speed, oversee strict things like legal excise or meals, or excuse me, those excise tax permits for licenses to be paid for all. We estimate $4.3 in fiscal 2024 and enacting about 22 million. And we'll have in each of these, and we're going to figure out what sort of stories that those variances a minute. State aid, we estimated 0.4 million and 71,000. We anticipate the way we typically budget this when we use the proposal, which comes in January, as base budgeting happens in January, and then the state process.
Excuse me, I did some screen. Let me see. Have a minute, I see, I got it. Here, see. Thank.
There we go.
Okay, sorry.
But for at least we set the budget up for stated governor's budget starts in January, and then the state plays out times August, times September. It really depends on what they're doing. So we don't approve that until the town meeting is held. Max basically for something, we'll spend all that we anticipate on our budget, $71 million, and we around 6.5 million. The there was about 8.5, and again, we get those the departments that did to those turnbacks to probably slide.
So the positive, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, paying free cash, I guess. This is local receipts.
So these are receipts for these 3 prior contributors. So our investment, we estimate $500,000 like 1.2. This is really tricky one. And I guess for investment income, it's a primary deposit interest that earns on its statutory accounts.
Not the town.
It's like owning. I made that joke. I didn't land well. No. So this one really based on market that we're trying to test. 8 to 20 months. Interest rate is high. They're probably headed in the direction. But that was a big interest to be collected over receipts. Motor vehicle, like this one would be like 10 general up, but it swiggles up along the way. Estimated about 215 and 2 points. This was, I think, actually tricky one COVID.
Man likes it.
But we get about $180,000 that we anticipate this with 20. Licenses and permits, building. We waited just under $7,000 and collected $900,000.
And that's driven by, new construction type process, stuff like that.
Yeah, so this,
Okay, so
this sheet that has local receipts on the top, to have the full local receipts. It has the rules and have a budget for fiscal 20, so for this. And the forecast that for our school year.
okay, so then one is the drive turn back.
So again, we set up and we spend the appropriation. So I was insurance for that. I was probably have a good discussion on that one and some other ones, but actually, well, let's go to the next slide. We got it. For the police, we are back around $61,000. We not at 100% staffing from last fiscal year, but we now also sure we would just that again the year. So it's a tricky one. We have to budget our service. Actually, I can tell you why we're technically allowed to use that budget. That's true.
So we're not going to deficit, we lower the budget, so. Typically, when we have a heavy season, we want to deficit spend, raise the difference, retail, if we lower it for whatever reason, allow us to do it. We have a legal deficit, so
We don't have, so
Okay.
yes,
Actually, I just,
You hear the word legal in this.
the amount of $160,000 is reached below.
we budget lower and. It used to be, well, I think you fund now, we have to raise it there.
$1 is the minimum.
So we raise it by part, but
Okay. And then for winter of 15, we're buried, what do you do to cover snow?
Should we have to declare no emergency? If one has no emergency, like Andrew said, as it's bad.
Okay,
and then they get sprayed the following year.
Yeah.
so basically what this last year doing is basically we did not have any snow last year. For highway department and department of works, we and still have a position. The facility also had staffing turnover. We had a new position in 24 for Woody's manager, who's doing all of our projects. That project was funded in July 2023, and that the stuff was not until 2020, about 6 months here. And sometime during or summer, exact, but for town meeting facilities, police director with the town Medfield on another opportunity. There was mostly from salaries. So back to helps and this one where I might on Andrew. Our offers noted way that we did bills these last years were basically I guess just to take it back. I think remember it's a lot of what we do one purpose we do is to pay prior bills. You're supposed to pay bills outside of fiscal year unless you have any approval. For this approval.
Yes.
For the regular, instead of special.
Yeah, it's good. You mind coming up next to Frank?
So, we were paying the upcoming lives in the current year. We were paying 12, so we were July. So maybe like shit back a month. So what happened in fiscal 24, we ended up paying 11 months of the interest. We'll continue 12 months, so basically just starting that July, that would have been paid back in the last year, we started paying the upcoming year, which is probably the right way to do it, and not just partners told us. So that explains a very term back in the health at about probably double what our was right.
It was about 356 years.
Yeah, so there's an extra month or I guess it's a that
So
was
sorry, I'm not.
yes, that is for some reason. I think for sure the last time we came out.
Yeah,
So you'll just so June, the expected, so we pay our insurance a month in advance. And it's something the time is, so we used to number because they have 12 every year when that changed. Change the time and we're still going to do this 12 months charter and the audit why you in July invoice that we're just 12 months. We probably should stop that. So this was
So ahead of month, behind the month.
so now rather than advance the bills in
So next year, 12,
about 12
13.
fiscal 20 will be 12 in this 12 on an ongoing basis.
yeah. This has 11.
Right.
Get the June, July.
I get the June, I get the July. We used to get July bill in June. So
Yeah.
I think this is some see.
Yeah.
Researching it started in July, so.
Yeah.
Last year, I don't have details, but they were changing some of the health insurance. You met with different bargaining units and also then ununit fees. They were going to different things, higher codes.
We did the line change.
Yeah. Resulting that details.
No, we, for our employees and we saved about $700,000. That was reflected, that's reflected in this year's budget. In the budget.
And you see the schools on here, 83,000, I'll turn back there. But don't go next slide.
Yeah, the next slide is we kind of these.
Sorry.
Slides. That's
Do you know the back is a check for the school?
it's 3%.
A lot of littles. Yeah, probably a lot of line items. Yeah, sometimes a lot of time these terms are because they apply for a position and they have still in hiring that. So they might have over a full year, but they hire somebody that's way through the year. So they say, you know, that's usually the big ones are populated. And the facility hired mid-year, so that's a thing of like could happen. That's the idea.
way ahead of the police.
Yeah. Okay, here's the picture.
Sue and the M team just into the state education, which is still,
It had certified.
but I mean, you got it in really last year or like one of that time, so awesome.
Good.
So anyway, we estimate right now 5.6 million. If we take our policy down in the updated financials, we'll keep 2.17 million.
That 2 is the 3, so it includes the
Yeah.
0.5%.
No, okay, I didn't. Yes, 3%.
Great.
Okay.
So remember, I said we want 3%, so that's this 0.4 million, which theory could be a pro town meeting. And
I guess but the slides go years, so I think it's good to is where it is.
okay. Sorry, there's a little bit here. This to talk about.
There is.
Yeah. So we see this slide, the one page that has it starts with 3 numbers, the 5, 6 million, one, and then the free cash appropriate. You wonder about this, or you want about it? I mean, this year is a little, last year, if you remember, sort of range, we would want to use free cash, then again, preliminary, nothing final at this point. But we thought it was important to dialogue about. And the first box sort of will fix the very type considerations of cash. And OPEB is obviously the one priority. We've always had with free cash, and that's the 51. We interest rates are coming down, putting money into the stable fund in 26. So the idea, so the holder there 100,000 on capitalization. There's for 850,000 there. We Brent with the book what I had it was on the page. It's about 850, I think, and there'll be a forecast fiscal 20. And so yes, page 253. 250. First line, it shows capitalization 25 and 7. So 26,644. That roll up of things in the 5-year and that are funded by that stabilization. And it's that's 50, the 850. Town is a decree. Well, for some order, and still require expenditure to deal with issue with upon 5,000.
What's it order?
A deed has found from the dam, and we are encouraged to do repairs and to the dam.
And so that leaves it, that totals some 1,560,000. Then these other categories, known areas are second type considerations. And holder in the or the elementary schools mitigation fund, 800 last year, 100. So we put 100 in this, and we put another 100,000 for the school building feasibility. The history, I think, was we think no, we're like a million. So it was I think we're just under, this will come to where, Mike Clinton last year, it needs a million and a half over job. This to that point,
Right.
okay? And, so they, if they MSP, if they don't, they'll have the move forward. And then the economic development, which is every year for the select board appropriate, you know. So that's $1 million. So when you add two buckets, it's 851, which is about $600,000. That figure could be, doesn't have to be rated this year, can be next year. There's we talked that last meeting about potential uses, need should say, in the town sidewalks. Talk as a potential need, and so there's the budget committee, the select board really on a plan what they want to do walks. So it's essential at this point, I think it needs to be before we any kind of money, allocated money, to sort of have a plan of, how they want to go forward. Where would they start that stuff? So, we'll see what happens there.
Just one point on actually two. The first point is, it's policy not use free operating budget. So I think it's good schedule that it confirms that don't use free for operating. But I asked a question to that. We put in proposal question like the side fund, and it's been highlighted as a school project, very contentious issue, think, in terms of that, and it's been one that talked about. So I'm in favor of us putting this in discussion, just raise it as the other fiscal, and I the question is something that folks agree with.
Because is that a following question?
Well, question, I mean, that is, we go to this, we have cash. We're using it for operation, for these purposes. $600,000 free cash.
Right.
For priorities arise inside of the budget, and walk fund is kind of question mark, right? And saying, so it seems to me from the committee's side, if we put this saying, this is an issue that should get.
Yeah, and I guess add to that, I didn't want a number next to it because it's very an idea. We haven't no idea what it's gonna cost. It's be more than what I hear, and it's taken years to plan out. And there's agreement, where this by of something this and how it needs to be further discussed, agree on and collaborate with different communities. So I in my opinion, we don't need to do money next to this. At this point, the free will always be, if the plan doesn't come forward next year, you can spend it, something.
So. Is this gonna burn my house or something? We were talking a minutes ago, effectively, not just gonna use free cash cover operations.
Right.
But we might come in, the fact that we're looking you know, that structural debts that are again, or likely to begin in 27 beyond. Should we consider free cash?
It's a
flow
good-
over?
It's a good. The what you, the reason you have a policy of using. free
And I'll say,
Because what's 1 year, you have to ditch that free cash every single. To sustain spending that you funded with the operating budget. So if structural issue with your budget, in other words, it's not simple, right? So you really have a conversation about, you know, long-term there and going forward. Because the ability to sustain with each year after is low. So that's why we have a policy that says we, you know, because for 1 year, what do you do this year, you know, it's like.
Yeah, I think about this last, right, with the structural.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I suppose some type of one engineer, they got its own one thing and behind your app. So then maybe use a little bit. I think it's true with you, it's a little bit, you know, talk about walks or put aside it. And it'd be nice, a little extra, but get balance free, well above the threat.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that room for the future. Will happen.
Doesn't happen.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, one of that too, that, you know, the stabilization, we funded it with cash. But we've never had a
dedicated,
dedicated
Right.
funding source, so we talked about how we're gonna be able to fill that.
and I don't wanna put words in your mouth. My understanding is that the capital budget has concluded the need here is too big for the current fund. In the capitalization, there needs to be type of other revenue to decide the other issue of stocks, right?
So,
Yeah, so, yeah. So,
I don't think that committee is such a record in any meeting.
okay,
But the sense of is the stock issue, the money that happened so far in the budget is scratching the surface in a sense. That's what it's doing, staying compliant with the with the curve and things like that, slow.
yeah,
So substantial town would recognize. It's gonna take more. I'm the chair, and then this, I don't think he's not here, but I don't think the chair relishes the idea of funding this capital savings in the first place. So
that's why. You know, that's all this is stock fund, so it's a dedicated fund just sidewalks, you know. The idea would be if you board with something like that, have a dedicated fund. In other words, it wouldn't get wrapped up in a budget. Yeah, yeah. Or devolution, right? Yeah, so, but anyway, it's there because we hear a lot around town about walks. So, I think, consideration, but I think it's really to get to it with, yeah.
Yeah, it is definitely, it's acknowledging the common here from the town population, that it's something that
Right,
be addressed.
okay. All right, any more questions? Free cash. All right, so go back right to the,
the slot town revenue issue.
oh. Sorry,
Or you can get rid.
okay,
So at this point, we're about we did your outlook and that
this one, there is out for it.
we'll talk about the,
Oh, wait. 5 years
I'll say the 5 year, focus on 1 year. And, I thought I might just hold her to do an overview of our primary resources that the budget with here. So we have our property levy, which is probably the biggest, obviously, our tax bills. State, which we get directly from the state. Local receipt, a little bit about those, the biggest being more big size, investment in grants and fees, that thing. And then we were available, this sheet that was different, all the sources that we use and talk about those. And then there's free, which, we just talked about. And the primary asset fund stabilizations or sort of projects or other our OPEB contribution. So for fiscal year 26, we assume 0.5% tax levy, which is sort of the statute, plus $4,000 in new growth. This year we were in 4.5 and 4.50. Slight decrease, just no major project on the media. We also
renovation.
What, can you take from increase the levy per year? Like, how come numbers increase based off that of the homes, and then the prop 2 line item straight 2.5 of that?
yes, this number
The 50,
5308 is if you go to fiscal 5 is
The first, if you have those first 5, that's 1.6. So the 51.2.
yes, except the 5308 includes the actual new road ad in like the prior fiscal.
also the force.
Correct.
It's sort of, it's sort of the prior's new group and 2.5 becomes your start point. And at 2.5 of that.
Right, okay, yeah, thank you.
So we this year, $4,000, and then debt exclusion, which basically removes debt issuance funded by just sort of a tax bill. So that those are also tax levies pay specific associated debts. I talked about state. Here it says it's a 5-4, and I've been trying to think of better to go about, but our budget here for fiscal 25 was 655. That was based on governor investigation in January 24. Our fiscal year 26 is based on actuals. So 3.5%. But the 8.96 is based 1.5 increase of the 25. So that's why it's so I.
Do you want to?
Yes, this here that shows increase in state aid. So Australia level.
Is that in this presentation?
It's one of the attachments I read.
Okay. Good, okay. That's right, towards the end. Okay. Start.
No,
Trying to
I should have.
find it. This is a long list.
So if you do control F, and you state aid,
Not me. Oh, I gotta share in the do this, right? Can I, I'm almost at the, so. So, let's see. Think it's at the end,
No, it's a. It's the beginning,
in the beginning,
56.
9, thank you. Is it after this?
It's yeah, it's local receipt.
Okay. Here we go. So the question is why 1.5? Last year we did a 1 increase in state. So you explain.
So if you look at the past, sort of around the 0.5%, we've had a couple very strong years, and just sort of, I mean, speaking, I wasn't the these recommendations. Personally speaking, after a few years, you expect to shoot or drop. But we will know more information, and accounts the lecture and the government consensus. Sort of set the upcoming season as well. And in January, the end of January, the government will release her proposal. Like I said, we'll use those for our purposes. Won't know the final until time in the summer. We'll use the first budget, sort of our best. Yeah. Any question? The local receipt, I already mentioned this one out with the receipts on it. It includes actuals from 8 to 24. And then our amounts for 5 and the rest for year 2020. So in general, it's a 7% increase for 2020 projections. Primary by notable size, a little bit of how we had a strong there last year. You still trying to be them as that would go as but it totals up. So that's a big driver. Just as a reminder, last year meeting as this year, we allocated the reimbursed school receipt to fund the vacation stable fund. So no longer receipts, but that's is there now. That bottom, we got bottom.
And we probably talk about the income line, I have to have this Excel spreadsheet on local, yeah. So about 4 bottom is the income line. And you see this back interest rates 2% to $2,065 in a year. It shot 800 in 2020, 1.2 last year. Budgeted 60 and 25, so that the will generate over that 60. It's a good, historically a good problem that when interest rates up and you're doing investment because you don't have to if you it's going to free cash. But when interest rates go down, you have the problem. That's when you'd be very conservative on how you do it because you're wrong. That's new that you plan spending you have. So it's gonna tough. It's gonna be tough to get around. I think that they're still working on it. The other thing we should is that they're in this piece, everything that's highly yellow is to change. So we talk about we're gonna in the next month looking at the items and might change things, right? We're going to, this first pass, we have a December, as I can get everybody, but
We have a,
and this is, they're working. Georgia has started to put together, month balance and sheet income against that. This is for 20. So kind of rates were the last year. They were between 4.5%.
that's what it is. And so that 93 is probably the rate on that.
It's did the kid to 3 quarters. 3 quarters. Base, I mean, based on I employ balance based 24 hours. Actually didn't the balance divided by, but I 5% based on a 2 income came up with 24 million an average. So if you use that and 930, it comes out 3 quarters.
Right.
So that's the question. And obviously, we get pretty accurate balance.
Yellow item.
It's in lawsuits, yeah. But it's like what's the rate? Because you're talking about July 25 to June 2020. That's the period. Predict interest rates. And so it's not going to be 5%. And so this one we're going to come back. We obviously spend time on this. It's a big number.
Is the investment amount fairly common?
It should year to year.
Yeah, I think the only fluctuations.
When we had the one for the water plant,
Right.
so we had $11 that we were investing for water.
Yeah, that was a couple of years.
Yeah.
I mean, they carry a sizable balance. They're sending property and then that money, spend it payroll.
Right.
And 6 months it pushes itself. It sounds right because the $50 and 55 million in property taxes. So half, $36 would be in a balance that.
Remember when she came, she said, we get advantage because like 80 or 90% of the property taxes through the back, so
Yeah.
coming
They
right
get away.
So it's a question of lag of
Right.
having that cap is a big.
Yeah. So anything on this, Frank, or?
Also just, this sort of this, basically one fund within the home that we use, budget. This to here are the trust fund officer, it should be the, really the asking trust fund.
Reserve.
Reserve fund. That's, that should, and then we have, the revolving that collect, the fees associated with provided that, and then we use that money on the cost of service. So at the operators, you'll see that that's 165 for just 2026. Well, things like buying ambulance with that money. So school 26 for plan, we are using that funds to buy ambulance for rescue. So all in all, it's about $1 million increase available for operations. Yeah, for operating for the town departments. That's after some of these fixes that will get. Right, is there any question?
Or no?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
So, I'm happy on my line in general, start in general, for years, budget trends, increasing health costs, continue. Number last year, vision assessment, we know, time, the county. Actuaries, for whatever reason, actuary, will make it, or, actual assessment each of the member cities for coming fiscal year. So if we don't have that, then we won't have that, so hopefully cover, the size of.
$3.3
$3 million.
Yeah. It is we should talk about that, because like, there's a lot of rumor what going to Norfolk. I don't know the deep, but the sort of, delayed communication here. They've changed batteries. We speculate that there's some ice coming with the full date assessments to get it. So we wouldn't be surprised if we get a surprise.
For free.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the good news is we have a conservative use that resume.
Right.
We ended it all. So, we still cards to put that.
Yeah.
Out. So what happens? But sorry, I just thought I wanted to add that.
Oh. So I briefly was some of items on spreadsheet. Our compensation and generalized professional insurance with Blackbird credits that goes up just user experience, discounts that were things early sometime. So being able to leave those credits to offset this cost for this help us out. Jumping into insurance, that's highly low. So 5.311 based on two assumptions. The first is a 10% increase for active employees and retired or not for. And then it is based on a significant increase in the retiree care. So take a step back. Active employees are set on the year. So what premiums change, they change first. Retirees who are Medicaid, their are based on here, so that they don't really care. Fiscal year, so it's on their own schedule. So if their increase or decrease, that's possible, but when there's an increase, it only affects the fiscal year and take effect on the 1st. So, and Christine can much more about this, but for the care rates for this upcoming year, we know that the government is set or increasing the rate 4%. Oh, so that takes us on the 1st, and will continue calendar year 25, affects just 2026. So we have to another. We have for potential increase in calendar year 26. Another increase to account effect January 1st, 2026. So we for that we know and a cent increase in on January 2026. And that's a 3% increase because it's half. We get half a
that's different from 20%. So the percent's gonna be 10% because it's spread out. Then there's another bit that's gonna be 4%.
So right now. So the premiums, okay, will go up on the first 20%. So that 20 this year, it will, yes, so full year it'll be 10,
Right.
it'll be 10%.
Yeah.
That's right. And we have to, it's another, thing to take effect back to that second of the next fiscal as well.
Yeah, that's what 20.
No, the 20% falls, half of it, 10% in fiscal 5. And then another percent
Right.
in the first half of 26, talking about the second fiscal.
Yeah.
We hope that it was substantial in calendar year.
Right.
There's a disconnect between the calendar and the fiscal year health insurance.
Yeah.
This is complicated, a lot to it. There's assumptions, there's a lot of moving parts that go each way. So this is one that we're gonna dive into deep in November. It's an assumption of like, you know, there's an offer of the reserve or the number that will join here. That turn 6, you know, their offers plan and they have a event, you know, get married, whatever, and so it's, you know, that we've been very conservative in the town. They have put that down and help some with increases, offset increases. There's a lot of this one, there's plans, you know, we'll dive into this one.
I have a.
It's a big, no, it's a huge,
Yeah.
I thought Medicare. We've been thinking of program. I don't care what. Out of every paycheck, they,
Sorry, Medicare.
It's a Medicare plan,
Yeah, it's not Medicare.
it's a supplement.
okay.
Really, I don't know. Sure, you talk about.
all right. So, I suggest we do further discuss healthcare number. It really won't be.
It's just purely yellow.
Yeah. What else, Frank?
I don't know. I can go with these, but I guess the question is. So
So maybe it's just the last page, you'll see. And for what it all means, 2.1 million of additional revenue on this first, it's a 371% increase. And so, according to Formula 7 with the school, 25 with each school is a big budget rounds to 3.7, the town had 0.8. That's big picture, how it will look. Again, the items, they're gonna move it one way or the other, it could go away, we really don't know. You know, pension, state aid, you know, insurance. We'll have a clearer, you know, December when we have guidance to the, but this is our first at it.
So I guess sort of and a couple weeks, or actually it's next week, we'll meeting with non-health insurance provider. At the same company, we have 2 different, but anyway, we'll be having this next year's for our ability and work organization. Is MedX already knows we actually kind of got that up. The next meeting is November 8th, which hopefully by the end of it, we'll have it further officially from the NC, I'm sorry, Stanford County system. So hopefully it'll go on for them. In January is to get our rate for Blue Cross plan speed. Like now we're holding a 10 increase paid for those. And then for the governors and everybody in late January, I believe it's the official date anywhere the 20th. Usually you get paid for that, so probably only. And any assessment that we for a handful, we have 4 or 5 students, 10 try last year that was 120,000. We have a 5 increase, but it tends to fluctuate too much unless account changes. We'll have more information on that. Sometimes we get early February, but I think before that's when we get that.
Any questions? First preliminary, asset growth. The guidance.
Was it 3 number 2504? Was that up 3.6%? So
I think it was 4. Yeah. At 4.6. So I can't remember.
yeah.
See over 4. It's good faith as we work hard, good faith pass. And I think very transparent on what change. Yeah. And we're gonna dig into those in the next, so.
Yeah, I just add that. This is 7th year going through the process. About improvements and incremental change. It's to work, and I don't know, I understand and listening, but that I want to make sure that all on the committee sheet, the view you get now as we into this process, it really is significant. Asset was you walking through the line before we had a couple years ago, someone like, and we're process right. We have a view and identifying issues are and one of us go to departments in this view and it it reflects the see many changes are in going this and document this process and just the ability to some an array both the departments and schools. This early juncture is just a good step for all the work.
Yeah. Thank you. Well said. All right. I think gone through the number, is there anything, Frank? Number side. All right, so the other thing we chat about is this it was sent this afternoon, it's really lengthy, but there was a board letter the town has received from FEMA, the federal emergency, and they applied for a grant. And the good news is got up for the grant. It's 3-year staffing, fire and response. It's a 3 grant. And it is for proportional staff, which their salary all for fringe benefit, you know, veterans and all that. And, you know, it's just about $400,000, a little under $400 in that year. And so, I thought it was a, like, this as a guide, next Tuesday, there is a select board meeting where, you're all, you don't have, it's not recorded. If you want to go, we welcome you there. We'll talk about financial policy with the select. And then the item that's on the agenda to talk about award letter that we got. So I thought it would, we were gonna be there, we had this meeting today to get back from you folks on the letter, what it is, you know, from, you know, options we would for chief character to take back and for that meeting, additional information or question. So, you know, when you look, it's good for 3 years for that, but then what's in year 4? You're doing $400,000 into the operating. And we just went through a forced that's in 20, so that of the 3 years in 2026, I think.
25 years, so.
25, okay. So it'll be up in 28. Basically 29 is that. You know, you sort of have this question beyond budget. It's 400 grand. So, I mean, that's the question. I mean, it's easy to say, let's take the money and hire people. But we, you know, we went through a forecast that showed significant.
2.5 million, definitely in the prairie.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't.
This, that, make a million, basically, so.
It'd be the, chiefs. You would have to, assuming like extra, you would have moving from the other town, he's gonna ask stuff before next year.
Yeah, it's a great question to ask. And we would like to take a note, take questions back. I agree, that's a good question. Agree. What the best of this ambulance that we get generated from having this 4 people, full time, 24-hour staffing, an additional.
Take that incremental. To a reserve. So that at the end of this, you can have a balance to help on it. That 100,000.
Right now, anything that comes in ALS goes to the ALS budget.
If they were.
Yeah, but then that's used to, this is the revolving used to offset the cost of providing it. So it's a great, it's like maybe it's separate, not let it, because you won't cost for years.
Right.
So there's an offset, just so the point to accumulate it so that when the cost are operating. You can't do it.
The mechanism.
Revolving fund budget is a year.
No, you can put it in your fund, but it has to.
Yeah, revolve.
You don't have to up and then start, it's gonna start the town meeting.
Can you build moving fund
Yeah.
and not use it? So same impact.
Are you a balance in revolving fund? You just don't.
This is for spending it.
Yeah, but on the one that's.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, some records that identify. That's the new.
I think that's a good idea. Because that help with the pact in 29.
you spread it,
mitigation.
right, yeah.
Those expenses are there.
Meeting, the maximum we had out of our fund, and we use that amount for capital expenditures and an off to the budget. Fire department budget.
That's the salary, usually. So to take care of those, it's about it. Right? And then, you know, putting some kind of dollar limit for that. That whatever we think gonna generate 3 years, we hope.
One question I was in, year 20, that would be a time frame was the Trinity that comes on. What is anticipated headcount requirement with the addition of the option of in the hospital? So would you be looking to 29 if he is full? So we'd be adding the count.
I think they've that in there, that folk study, there was a fires,
Yeah, it's in
and that's,
the forecast.
yeah, the forecast.
So what you guess is maybe these fill that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so they would kind of write into that,
right. Yeah,
so whatever, it wasn't, they didn't project what the number, but I think it was. Two. Yeah. But it's something we should look at.
Yeah, two,
I was curious if this like. They specify for this with, yeah, this is the amount of money that wanted and on staff that he did, or was this like a grant kind of trying to fill something we don't need? Like
I don't want to achieve the specific grant fill the four. Now, every position has 3 staff to fill a portion on that staff. And so having works, you people to make that.
It's a
more.
24-hour shift. In this, I mean, it's a 24-hour shift. They really do week because it's 4 hours. So
so there isn't any income. It's just,
Well, you can run 2 ALS. So right now,
Oh,
we can run 1 ALS basic, this house to run 2
ALS, yeah,
and it generates more revenue.
yeah. So I think, you know, but it's a question, I think, at least in from, you know, my mind is like, I know he's, you know, he's very good at after every it's great applying for the years. So the question though, you've gotten a lot of it. And the breaking, it's like with the you know, I think that we got is it a safe issue, like, you know,
right.
you know, I don't know to the board will have to
Very important, but it's just so we have to,
yeah, the question I have.
yeah,
We've been on a sway for years. And but the reality is that in 29, you know, if they go with this, make a decision, either have an override to do it or to lay off. That's the reality of going for the grant, financial perspective.
I'm giving you your point, you could address $3,000 with address.
Yeah.
It's a bigger number. It's getting up 5 clips for to get
Right.
1,000, it'd be.
The question,
Last year, I think the other on the fire, I remember that we had to use towns and like what was the bill? I have no record like that. And I mean, that has to come with a different thing, because otherwise, why would? we-
Well, growth,
Unless we looked at it.
That's-
Yeah.
Here's why.
That's that's a 2012, but you're right. It's volume need. That's coming, it's coming, right? But the of. We'd like to hear about
the
this.
point is, I think, what's the revenue impact? It's two, one is, we have dependents on surrounding, perhaps, it hopefully get more ability to support the town's revenue, so there's some revenue. What which is, it's a good point.
Christine, the question I had when I read there. It was from the government. And there were 40 articles in this letter about all the compliance requirements. I have no idea of the cost more than any of this.
So we have.
Good.
And requirements.
They're the same,
Very
they're
similar.
kind of plate grant, okay, all right,
Similar to the drug grant, it's to some.
got scared and all this stuff. Wow.
No, I mean, these grants, a lot of work, recognize that there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a lot of training that goes here. Making the grant.
So the employees were hired. What do you mean that? The employees are covered. You covered for certain firefighters. So that issues that or some.
So the layoff in the layoff in the contract would be last first to go. So we address that.
But it necessarily mean that the layers would be in that department. I mean, it's the total price, both needing these costs. In other words, it's not, this goes, you have to take those four individuals,
My experience with things is when it comes to public safety, they hire some very, they never.
Because they're part of it.
Yeah,
so it's been something.
I was thinking,
Right.
question, once the union and lay them off, it's possible, but it's really hard.
yeah.
So that is, it doesn't actually impact other kids.
Right.
Necessarily, it's one for one.
Right.
Anything else that you asked the address? I think we covered it, right? All right, I think agendas are, we got show us, okay, oh, school committee, yeah.
So, we have tomorrow night. Invited people who in the Dale School. They're coming here, but we know. I back on the team say, said this, you sent that there to residents of we got I think 880 responses, which is pretty quite good. And the overwhelming 90% the respondent felt say that whether renovation of Dale or new school will be at Dale. A lot of we had a booth at midnight. I staffed a few hours for Casey got her staff from God or he gets a special and all but overwhelming people we just want to really friendly. saying. We voted against this time, and it was illegal, well, if it's a ditch. I mean, that's a little realistic, but the tenor of what was said. And, so we're running tonight to this location, residence area, and then we're expecting to know better on this side. And then we'll do the tank fighting, find out, we get into the ABA. The question over, the work committee at this point. I'll say, this is public, so that there was not good news out of three just last week. One of the old bachelors that had useful electric years were not year 5. One of the spots they had old in it. It was her daughter. Okay, sorry. They shot it. They moved on to in modular and cyber. We go in and do and a fix modular, get it back. So the building is having any of this to know that building, but that don't really affect.
They're dealing with the emergency funds out of capital, but is that how they're?
Excellent.
I was.
Yeah, that means through the emergency fund and the capital insurance or something. Okay.
But that means it's
No building.
Well, the emergency go to the vessel. But we haven't figured it out.
Like 100, how much is emergency? So 70 is.
The schools have earlier this year 1,000, so 25,000.
Okay.
a question. To me, we're cutting ahead of us. How do we vote on a site if we haven't done, so we're gonna, we'll get it into the A pro, and then you have
Guys here.
right, that we do, then you have to do ability study.
We'll get here on the day,
That-
but they
but how-
I am told, I am not heard on that. I actually asked sort of, actually putting it down, you know, what we have in other areas. And whatever. And I said, yes, they tend to be different. So if that's a specific site in mind, then
the MSB rental to that's,
that's what
yeah, okay,
I have no correct. I mean, it's hard. Sure.
so if
Yeah, I mean, suppose you have to.
Have they cleared with the MA, like that specifics that question, SBA, or
So we
assuming?
get. So, but since it, I don't wanna give their full right to help with the MA. One way or
Yeah.
over the year, they feel confident.
Yeah, I've talked about, I don't really have a preference, but we protect SBA process, and then we don't risk that money. And so, my friend is led the process of MSBA. They had in there, if you went with new action, that you require to look at others, not for, not rental, because that it's picked, right? New construction, you needed set of sites and included a cost, feasibility, the cost, like what we did this time. That's the question, is like, you come back and say, you have to go and come up with, you know, rough estimate costs like week's time for sites. And then take a vote at that. Right, with all that attention. And so, yeah, they may, you know, we know preference, might still make it through that process.
We're expecting.
Yeah.
To have,
Why would you have a vote before? Why not?
I'm sorry, report, I
Yeah.
said, why until after.
Yeah,
And, but they also said, charge.
Who's the?
the SBC is spot.
On the committee.
It's,
we gain,
yeah,
we seem to gain.
it's like the objective is we live there. Is leaning to rental or,
And me,
you know,
I don't,
no, that.
will tell you, which will be part of the effort, is it was cost the last time.
Right.
And it ran over more than that.
That-
There's a little, we want to expect the ad roll wouldn't be the same, it would cost more than that, right? I mean, the kids at school. And, you know, it's not
Remember,
successful, it's got. What in this basement, it's got.
and there was no last year, when that ad ran, there was $1 for the modules for the student be
Yeah.
located. Because they can't be in the school and it was like $6. No, well, it's part of the contract, you know. That's gonna be their new building.
Right.
One of the last building, they on the
Yes.
back up to the
That's-
back of which makes more sense than that right now.
Yeah,
Anyways, they just, that thing, I don't know what gets around that. I get it, but it's maybe putting it. Well,
But that-
I would not, before, you know. I would-
So did,
you talk to this VA and you get certain.
I think just, it's a great committee to ask you to raise that question on behalf. Yeah, you're presenting the warrant as well, so I don't want this to put your
I mean-
opinion, you say, warrant committee is this and the question, what is the committee at this
Or
point?
or make not make it a. Not as a form, like you feel like you have to vote on expression upon a survey, you know, not a definitive, you know. Yeah, but that suggestion,
Given, well, if we get into SBA, given we've got the kind of piece study talked about work and difference. So if we vote member, well,
so let me answer, let's assume you vote you in November in the MSBA, you have to go that process and the results back with the for the option at other location being that expensive. The deal. I mean, what do you, doesn't that put DC in a difficult spot?
yeah, mine that's. Yeah, if that happens, it would put.
I don't know.
Any construction is gonna run around same location, it could be.
Since it we found out last if was on site, but
Access to water. banks,
yeah,
all that.
and
See, you gotta go back, the purpose of the feasibility is to find out location, this before. That's the bit of the rules, education, and the last time was we luck. If you do have new build and as a rent, you have a better chance in my mind of satisfying the school maybe that the educational vision. They ought to know. Just. Yeah, just,
And I just, there's been, not necessarily a committee, but in other committees in town. To solve almost and wreck, build, the center. And they're long standing for some different space. And different views, I guess, and I personally don't, this is my personal, I that, a solution that, a little bigger space over it with a couple offices for the rec people, be a lot less expensive than a $20 building. Because I think combining two big projects together and you get that passed, you're gonna doom them.
You never exactly.
Yeah.
But we've heard people to the building committee. That's something with bad, whatever it is, better at the time. Now we're trying to get a new bill. It's gonna be enough already. We don't want it to be packed on.
Well, I think I had to, you said your personal, but I think from perspective, we've just come to fire works. We see you've got a deficit position now, not that that's but it's, we already issue. That doesn't even consider into the school itself. So I would agree, anybody in the, to add to Steve, if I just, it would seem to focus on this, to see what before on additional cost of the project. Would we know and in the four today's meeting?
A lot of their programming is done in, right? But the part that the FAFSA Center could use the new facility after, right?
Well, I'm not thinking the perspective is in, makes a agreement that it should stay for school. And then look to see how the town can use resources, maybe build that. If you say expand them or buildings of the opposite side, but overall stays on school.
All right. Anything else I have to add on that? Okay. So. Is that for your update? Cap budget. We're after 9 o'clock. Hour.
Tell us about, I can't.
They stay in the news in the 30 seconds left.
We've met 3 times since Warrant Committee. So for one of the except it's come through the top. I would just, I should at some point, voted recommended list of capital projects, transfers out of the equation, things. I would prefer to go.
Yeah.
Here are 3 that need, and that's why I've been taking in. Is that, well, the police, facilities, and we're review. Little quotes for traditional engine vehicle. So now to go back on quotes. If possible, to hybrid fully electric versions of Beta Squad, heavy duty and so forth.
Because of the policy that the board approved.
So it also invariably dollar amount. So we're waiting to hear back from
My understanding that they have to look at it, they're not to spare money.
Far back and haven't heard anything like that.
When I lived select board, the intention of that
We'll see.
there was.
For example, the police chief applied the request for a reserve that certain use, if not actually driving, there's downtime, you do a charger. So in your point with the exception is police officer, the sense of like it's a squad car.
Yeah.
I'm just, super probably feel similar later types of communities for his and so forth. So I think whether they end up with higher costs, these vehicles remain, but it's in play. Second, she was week for a down of all the 3,000 we've been approached every year. General IT most schools. It's actually been if possible for the request for this $300, you can see anticipated breakdown of that money. I haven't got it. So
I mean, what my sense on that, I think how I feel is that the school department, biggest department, and we have a policy for all the parts to justify capital expense. The schools an exception. And if you have you have a, yeah, they should to in front of you guys. I don't know the legacy we got in practice of just moving every year, but they're able to develop some detail on that every year, what they want that on.
yeah, I think it would perfect would be to see if they spend enough.
Yeah.
And so that's doable, a little disappointing yet, but fine.
That's something in and maybe I can help or
Yeah, we'll talk.
okay.
The third issue that's somewhat up in the air is Parks and Rec desperate need to refinish. That's gonna come, right? However, the estimate there is for 500,000. Since I think that my estimate needs to be in fact even clear to good work done in the course of 12 months. So it would actually flow in the fiscal year. Yeah, now, but that aside, how to fund that question? There is some come from their own fund, but they couldn't probably the entire from that. And so the fraction $100,000 sitting there, right? The place for the cost that would be in the capital fund is at least
In the 5 year, was it a year? Was it just
yes.
And carry.
It's kind of
500?
it's only been years of they can put it off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, I think the expenses is very things that come up, like $1,000 park and rec strategic plan. That was new. That was under 5 years thing. And now everything has it did.
In fact, that's what you just, I'm really not contentious. I care about everybody knows. I was talking, on this on the team. And to the eye of the thought perspective, she said, it's embarrassing, from West, from Med, people from Med, where they're really big courts. You go there for matches and they're like great court. That's, you don't have balls with the bounce. They come and feel nice business, the World Cup. That would sort of automatically could this committee be told apart, chip some of them up for instance to, I guess, use it for match. And I don't.
It's all gonna come in fund.
Yeah,
Need to-
this all the capital item out of that. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but it's taken, in fact, the director of parks, that they do drive revenue from people going to use it for various purposes and whatnot. But they're having a hard time seeing people to up on that now, it's just getting to be in shape. It's actually impacting the revenues on it, but it's just an example of the fact we do off apparently for time. Needs to be done.
Really, not only since.
But I think that with the 850 to reverse the fund and with the work that are being. Government is fine for the time. I think it worked out, so they'll be able to start fiscal year 1 million more for their tuition. I just math on the block, based on spreadsheets, so we're past.
oh, plus the some projects that close out without link balance.
But I think all of that, which was without kind of expectation is with.
Oh.
With the, and I think even in the fiscal year, like that looks.
Okay, that's good. That's good. No, well, I think that required average balance down, spending less average, right? It'll creep the average before creep a little bit more. I spend 1 point, now we're at 850, whatever. So the
Well, obviously, there are aspects of capital brought in the town, funded by other uses of capital, such as funds, so it's confusing the total that it might be 2 million.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's good to hear about the tennis court thing. Everything else. All right. Anything, Brent?
No, just we're, again, I think.
Yeah, so you just, everybody could have, if it's okay with everyone, 2 games there.
And you're on track getting your recommendation.
I mean, I think if there's anything,
Okay.
just waiting for these bids and then the 300,000 right, that's it. You can see that.
Yeah. All right, and then maybe if you want to get schools attention, tell them their budget that you've got to go in for the creations and submit their. I'm sure you pretty quickly. But, all right, Christine.
Oh, I think it's like.
I would enter a motion.
Adjourn.
Okay. Let's go around. Brent?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're still with us?
Yes,
Can you hear us?
I can.
Ah. Great, Jill. Kind of shut.
Of course. I do.